Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all students. Today lecture is on kami as a corporation. How we understand kami to stand as a corporation. So there are slides we already provide for you. What's the meaning of kami? I won't go in detail there. And the objectives is already in the slides that you can go through. Important things is the lecture that I have to deliver to you to understand on the meaning of the company. So company is, as we understand, as a separate legal entity. It's a different person. You one person, your company is another person. That's very simple explanation that I can give. And this started a long time ago in the case of Solomon versus Solomon. Mr. Solomon set up a company, Solomon Company Limited. So you read the case, simple case. From there you can understand to differentiate a person and the company he owns. Although the same name, but it's a separate legal entity, separate person by itself. And then we call it, that company, as an artificial person. You are the real person. Your company, separate company, is a person but artificial person. They can do anything as you can do, except they don't have the life only to live. Yeah? And he also have a perpetual succession. It can go forever. You can have the company live forever unless you yourself close down the company or your company got wind up by other parties. That we will learn further. Then to make it legal, we have to have a company must have a company seal. Like we have a signature, but company, because it's not a living person, to sign the document, they cannot sign, but we call it, we have a company seal. Seal, S-E-L. That one we will learn later how you can make the company seal as part of the signatory to the documents. You replace, like you yourself sign the letter. They have a common capital that can be transferable. That means you can sell the shares to any other partners in the company, in any other members of the company. They have a limited liability. That means whatever the company liability only belongs to the company. It doesn't go to you. That's what we call it, limited liability. There are two different things. The company debt is company debt. Your debt is your debt. If the company don't pay the debts, you don't have to pay the debts. That is why this is what we mean limited liability. And it has a democratic management. The company have to manage by itself. Although you own the company, but you cannot run the company, manage company as you are running your personal company. It's a separate company, separate legal entity. They have their own ways of running the company. They have the memorandum article of association, which says what can be do, what cannot be do. We cannot simply do as you like, as a personal person. Okay. That is basically what the company is meaning of a company. Separate legal entity. Second is the procedure of formation of the company. Stage 1, you have to get the registration PIN number from the SSM, Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, which is government body, which regulate all the registration of company in Malaysia. All companies, excluding societies, excluding other types of company. This SSM, or we call it Company Commission of Malaysia in English, only regulate registration of companies only. So you get, once you want to set a company, you just go to the SSM office. They will give you all the necessary form for you to register, to get the PIN number, and then you must submit together with the forms if your memorandum or an article of association. This MMA, we call it in short, is the document what you can do, what you cannot do as a company. So once, let's say the company in the memorandum you said you have to do only for education, like in our college, only education. You cannot use the company to do other business like opening a burger shop. Tak boleh, cannot. Yeah. So in the memorandum, you have to certify all the terms and conditions what you want to do and what is important thing, the objective for the company. That is where you have to be careful, because if you have the objective of doing a college, then you do other things, then you breach the act of the SSM. Then they can be charged, you can be disregistered, all kinds of things. Legal action can take against the company and you as a promoter. After all the memorandum, article, association you have done, normally if you don't understand the procedure, you can employ, we call it company secretary. Company secretary are registered with the SSM. They are licensed with SSM to help you to register the company and to do all the documentation of the company. For example, like a lawyer, they help you to go to the court to represent yourself. Here, we call it company secretaries. But also lawyer can act as a company secretaries. But the job is, we call it company secretaries. They are outside of the company. They are independent people. So you can employ them to help you to prepare the memorandum, article of association, and all the necessary document, declaration, everything. They will do the filing for you. And it's compulsory as a company, we have to appoint them as the company secretary throughout the life of the company. So you have to pay them certain fees monthly for them to look into all the statutory requirements that the company need to be submitted to the SSM, yeah? Or CCM, the company registration company of Malaysia. So to make life happy, easier for you when you want to start your own company, just appoint a company secretary. They will advise you what need to be done, and you provide them everything. They will do all the necessary document, because there is a specialized job. There are things that need to be done. For us, sometimes we are not in that field. We don't understand what the forms needed and what the requirement needed. So it's a compulsory. We have to appoint a company secretary in order for us to set our company and to maintain them throughout the lifespan of the company. Even when you want to close the company, you will ask the company secretary to do it for you. They will do all the necessary documentation to file with the company, security company of Malaysia. Then we have other companies like public company, Section 35 of the Company Act. Yeah, we already download the Company Act inside your online class. If you don't have it, it's very simple now. All the ACTA, the Act, you can get it on the line. You just go to Google. Any Act of Malaysian Act, you can easily get from the Google or any online. Just Google it, Company Act of Malaysia. You can download and keep it. You don't need to buy the act. It's not really expensive. You can buy it 10 ringgit, 12 ringgit, but you get it free from the website. And you keep it in your phone or on your iPad. It's no need for you to carry the ACTA wherever you go. Wherever you need, you just refer it there. That's what my advice is. Now your life much easier. Not like those days we have to get all the ACTA and to carry all the thing around. Yeah? And then after the company, they have also subsidiary companies. You have a parent, you have a children. So same thing. You are a separate body. Company is a separate body. So the company also pun boleh beranak, also can get children. So that children, you set up another company, we call it subsidiary company. Yeah. So company, we can have many subsidiary companies. Procedure still the same. Yeah. Setting company all the same. So we call it subsidiary companies. Why you need subsidiary companies? Okay, for example, this company now I am running a college, so the objective is running college. But I need another business, running a food stall or running a restaurant. So I have to set another company just to running the restaurant. That can be the subsidiary of the company of the college. Can, yeah. But you cannot use the same company to do the restaurant, to do any other things. That is against the law. Then we have government companies. Then government companies is under different act, like the State Economic Development Corporation, that is under government. Khazanah Malaysia, Treasury Company, that is government companies. Just for example lah. Then we have foreign companies. Then we have foreign companies, they are setting up their companies in Malaysia. They are foreign, they are from UK, they are from US. But they use their company to set up in Malaysia. So they register with the Malaysian Security Commission or the SSM. This we consider a foreign company. They are owned by the foreigners. But there are normal companies like what our companies here. It's only they owned by foreign, so we call it foreign companies. The shareholders, the owners. One-man companies, single proprietor, you register, we call it one-man companies. Also available in Malaysia. Private companies is like a family company. You don't have other people shareholders. You and your family, you don't want people to know about your business. You want to run a business, you need to set a company. There's a law in Malaysia. But you don't want people to know what your business. So we call it, you set up a private companies or exempt private limited companies. So this company, you register, but what is the advantage? You don't need to file to the government your audited account. You don't have to divulge all your activities to the company Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia. So nobody knows what you do. So we call it private companies. And private companies is mostly like family company. And the shareholders must be individual, cannot be another company. That means in that company cannot be another company shareholders. But it's a normal company, the shareholders can be individual, can be also another company shareholders of that company. Meaning of profit prior to incorporation. Incorporation certificate is evidence of. Okay, this one is talking about the private exempt company. That means we need a certificate from the SSM to say that my company is registered as a exempt private limited company. It is approved by them. You have this certificate, then you run it as a private exempt company. So all profits earned from a business, all this must be taxed. As a company or individual, you have to follow another law, income tax law. So all the business you do, if you got profit, you have to submit to the income tax law to pay the profit. You lose, no need to pay tax. Okay, not to worry. Then as a company, you have profits after you pay tax. If you have profits after you have tax, you have to declare dividends, keuntungan, dividends to your shareholders, the shareholders who invest with you. They need expected return every year. So this one we call it dividends. After you pay the tax, after you got a profit, you pay the tax, the balance of profit, you can distribute it as a dividends, keuntungan to all the shareholders. This policy is all you can set it on your own in your company. I'm just explaining the procedure available as a company. So we have the chart there to show you the pre and post incorporation of a company. It's just that before register and after register. Okay, number 4, calculation. Following step may be followed for calculation profits. So normally the profits, you have to do your annual profit and loss account, balance sheets, audited account. And this again, you have to appoint another body. We call it auditors. Just now you appoint for the administrative of the company, we call it company secretary. Here you must have another body to appoint, we call it auditor. So as a company, the compulsory you must have two. One is the company secretary, one is your auditor, who will prepare your profit and loss and balance sheet and certify it before you can submit to the SSM and the income tax department. And normally this is for every 12-month period. So it's a yearly effect. So from here, you have the profit and loss. Then you can, if there's a profit, you need to pay the tax. If there's no profit, there's nothing to pay. If you have a loss, you can even carry forward your loss for next year. You can deduct for your profit next year. Let's say this year we lost 100,000. Next year you profit 200,000. So you can deduct your loss 100,000, then you only pay tax based on your 100,000 profit. So loss can be also carried forward. Yeah. So the rest is the chart is how you should prepare your profit and loss. One side how you profit, the other side the sales and so that in the end of the day whether you make profit or not. Yeah, this is the cost, this is the sale, down there is the profit. And then normally this ratio all that will be prepared by your auditors. They will help you to prepare the auditor. What is the ratio? How much ratio you profit from your turnover? Let's say we turn over 1 million, you profit 100,000. So the ratio is 10%. Simple as that lah. But they have their calculation. Then they also can calculate for you your sales ratio. Just now we're talking about your sales, but then down there you have also your other expenses. But you can segregate it. You just want to know your sales versus your ratio versus your profit. You want to know the whole cost versus your profit. All can be done. That can become your tools for you to manage your company. If this year you make profit 10%, you think next year you want to make more profit, maybe you have to increase your price. Maybe you have to sales more. So this is the importance of the ratio for you as a tool for you to plan for your business for the next 1, 2 or 5 years. So there's a sample of the format of profit and loss account. As a businessman, you not to worry. Once you appoint the auditor, they will help you to prepare. Okay? And again, as a company, you must have your internal accountant to record the transaction daily, so that at the end of the 12 months, at the end of the year, the auditor will come and prepare the report for you. Okay, important point to be considered. Gross profit ratio should be divided in the ratio of sales. In case of ratio of sales is not available, then time ratio can be used dividend gross profit. These are all based on the profit ratio that you want to know from your 1-year account, the annual account. You can calculate it through the ratios, which the auditor will help you to do. And as I said just now, when you have the ratio, it becomes your tools for you to manage your company. So all the ratio expenses, you ask your auditor to do it for you. So you don't have to do yourself, because this is not your job. Your job is to run the business, to make profit, to expand the business. Calculation, your job, the job of the auditor. Okay, number 5. What is the effect of incorporation? Section 16 sub 5. A body corporate exercises all the functions in the company of suing and being sued. So, as I said just now, the company is a separate legal entity. They can do anything. They can borrow money, they can buy property, they can be sued, or they can sue people. All being done as an individual person. That's why we repeat again, it's an individual person, or we call it artificial person. It's a person by itself. You can do everything that you can do, except they don't have life. Yeah. So this is where under this section 16 sub 5, yeah, under the Company Act, a company is as good as a living person, because it can do everything that you can do. Yeah? And then again, we're talking about it's a separate legal entity. There's a landmark case, Solomon versus Solomon, and also the other cases which have the same effect. That is to say, a company and a person is a separate legal entity. This one you can read, or you have learned before, just to remind you back. This Solomon versus Solomon case, simple. You can read it, and also the decision by Lord McNaughton. Yeah? And also Lee versus Lee Air Farming Limited is a similar case, and this is two British case here. These are two British cases. Solomon is the first case which differentiate the separate legal entity. Then we have a Lee and Lee Farming, also UK case. Then we have a Malaysian case now, Hugh Siok Ying and Hugh Tin Yi. Yeah. It's a well-established principle of law that a limited company incorporated under Company Act and individuals forming the company are distinct legal entities. Same thing, yeah. This one, take it from the principle of Solomon and Solomon, Lee and Lee. We import it, the laws, and in Malaysia, we also follow the same principle of distinct legal entities within the company and the person. And we have another case, people insurance, you can read, yeah. Same, then ability to own property. There's a case to show that a company can own property in its own name. There's a case law on this Macora and other insurance. You can read to show that the court approved or held that yes, a company can own the property. Just now you said that M&A, but sometimes people in the case they said, oh, a company cannot own company cannot own a property. So you have to go to the court. You have to go to the court to make the direction of your memorandum to say that yes, you can own the property if somebody challenge you. So there's a court case. Now there's no more issue. With this court case, that means the matter of company can own a property is settled. What means settled? There's no issue. Any company can own a property. But before that, somebody challenge, so they have to go to the court to determine whether the company can own the property or not. Okay, this is all what it's all about. The same thing that the Macora case. Aziz Atan, all shareholders company had transferred their entire share to a certain buyer. Whether the land which was the main asset of the company was also sold. Okay, now I have a company. I bought the land. I didn't sell the land. I sell the company. In the shareholders company, I got two shareholders. Let's say myself, my wife. The share, I sell it to another person. They now own one company. So the case now, whether they also own the land just now. So the case say yes. Once you transfer the company, the other new party own the company and they own the land. So this matter is also settled. There's no other issue. But this last time they have case, so the court have to give clear interpretation. Whether a person own a company, he sell the company shares to another party, new party own the company, whether they also the owner of the land. So this is the case, and this the court have yes. Incorporated company is a legal person, separate, distinct from shareholders or the company. The present company did not change its identity of person. It continued its own asset. Yeah. So the company, they separate company, they own the land. They continue own the land, walaupun the shareholders has already changed. No issue. Yeah. So the two ways you want to sell your land. One, yeah, I explained to you. You have two ways. Your company got land A. So you want to sell the land? Can. You sell the land to company B. One way. The other way, to make it easier, if your company only own the land, there is no other business. So you just can sell your shares to a new party. This new party become the shareholder, owner of the company, they automatic owner of your land. This is another way, shortcut of settling the problem of selling your land. Rather than you have to go to the land office, you have to pay the tax, all that kind of things. Yeah. So there are two ways of, if you own the land, if your company own the land, you can do two ways of disposing the land. Yeah. It's very interesting. These are all the shortcut way how you want to do business. You don't understand, you go the long way. It's like today you want to go to Kuala Lumpur. You know the short way, you go the highway. You don't know the short way, you go through the old road. So people can arrive there earlier, cheaper and kind of thing. You have to go longer and you have to spend more. So this is where the knowledge of law is very important. That's why we are teaching you now, to make you a better person. Okay? Ability to incur its own liability. Yeah. Yes, for sure, you can read these cases. Company incur its own liability does not concern you as owner. Yeah? Because of the legal principle, separate legal entity. This is what we are explaining on number 3. Yeah, there's a case there, you can read. Ability sue to be sued. Yes, a company, people own your money, so you can sue people. You own people money. Other company or people can sue you because you are a body itself. They don't sue the owner. I'm the owner of the company, you cannot sue me because under the separate legal entity, you only can sue the company if the company owed you some money. So this is what we call it, ability to be sued and be sued. Yeah? The case of force versus Harbottle is an English case which started on this issue, and it's a really settled case. When we call settled case, until today, there's no need to go to the court to determine whether you can be sued or be sued because of the case of force versus Harbottle has already settled the principle that a company can be sued and also can be sued. Yeah? Perpetual succession, a company shall exist until properly wound up or struck off from register. Its lifespan does not depend on the life of the members. Another thing interesting. I own the company. I die. The company does not die. The company does not die. I die. The company does not die. Interesting thing, you know. So what happened? Okay, minimum 2 shareholders in the company. So if one shareholder die, you can replace with another company in the shareholders or director, so the company continues. So the owner or shareholders die, the company does not die. The lifespan of the company continues. Okay, but finally, when the company dies, there's another one thing important. You can wound up the company. You can make the company die. Tutup the company, you wound up the company. There's a procedure, appoint the company secretary, ask them, say, I don't want anymore this company, I want to wound up. So they will file all the documentation to the government, to the SSM, then the company will wound up. Or, you own people money, you don't pay, they can also wound up your company. So the company also can die. Yeah? So, for this perpetual succession, we mean that the company does not die if the owner die. It continues. This is what we want to explain. There's a case law there, we want to explain. Okay? So today lecture, the summary, I know I already lecture you, knows and the concept of incorporation, how the company can be incorporated. You have to go to the SSM, Syarikat Suruh Jaya Malaysia or Company Commission Malaysia to get all the necessary document to incorporate your company. They have all the guidelines to tell you what to do or not to do. And now Malaysia is very fast. You can incorporate the company even within 1 hour if you file in everything. Those days when I was doing business 30 years ago, we did 6 months to get the company incorporated. So these are the new people now are very lucky. Number B, understand and effects of incorporation. You must understand, it's separate legal entity, can be sued, they can be sued, they can own property, they can do business, they can do anything as a living person. They are artificial person. Okay? C, identity or ability to sue, be sued, yeah, I mentioned already. D, identity, ability to own property. Yes, they can own property, everything, yeah, as a normal person. And it's a perpetual succession. I will explain to you what is perpetual succession. So with that, today we completed our lecture, and you can continue discussion in the class with Ms. Balkis. And anything more, you can ask me the question on online classes, which normally I will respond within 24 hours. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.